should be connected soon. Come on, you can do it. Excellent connection. There, should be live. Okay. Yeah, appears to be. Hopefully. Microphone seems to be working. Alright, so we'll take it for granted. So we'll do this little pop out the chat thing. This little crap I have to do. Just the way it works. You gotta do these things in a certain order or it doesn't work. Blah blah blah. So sorry about that, but it's just the way it is. And that should work. And then I just make that, move that down here. We can make it a little bigger. And that should be okay. Except it's gotta go down here somewhere. Something like that. Alright. This we can move. Whoops. I can't move that. Gotta move this up here maybe. Okay. Alright. So we'll find some comments to laugh at first and then some other crap and blah 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 blah. And that'll be a video. Just so much garbage surrounding these, you know, people who just won't admit that, yeah, physicists sure did make some mistakes. Plus and minus wrongly assigned, and then completely screwing up three-dimensional space by adding fourth dimensions. I mean, multiverses, dark matter, it's all so desperately stupid. But anyway, I'll get to that part. First, I will find the right, where we're going to start here anyway. Guess we'll start here. Okay. I'll make sure there's nothing new. And oh, there is some more. Good. Yeah, right. Oh, these people are so pathetic. Alright, move that over here, and then I can make this visible, and there it should be, and it is. Alright, so we'll read it from most recent to oldest just for fun. Alright, so I did post a video, Mindless Marbles, More Lies and Deception. You know what, let's just do the simple argument first. And then, you know, just to display what the subject is, just in case somebody didn't know what the subject was and they're tuning in for the first time or something. I'm making a whole bunch of contentions about physics and how they've fucked it all up. I mean, the whole wavical thing, the whole entanglement crap. I mean, it's all baby talk. All wooey religion. And underneath it all, I didn't realize was this formula they have that's 1/2 mv squared. Now, let's say this is what they call energy. And that sort of relates to Einstein's, you know, energy equals mc squared. Okay, same kind of notion that you're squaring a velocity. And it's utter nonsense, invented by a kook, you know, religious nut, back in Newton's day, completely defeated in his life because the scientists then had some integrity and were smart, and then they got, I don't know, they got like drunk and lazy in the 1700s and decided, fuck science, we'll just do popular science. We'll just do little gimmicky experiments and make up a bunch of fake rules about how things work. You could even say Thomas Young was a huge huge perpetrator in the bullshit. Because he's tied to both the two-slit experiment and this colossal pile of shit. And it can be understood as being impossibly wrong, okay, with a very simple experiment, right? So I have some little objects. Let's just say they're one mass. They both weigh, let's just say, 1 pound or 1 ounce. And I have a scale. Well, if I take one of them and put it 1 centimeter above the scale, okay, and then drop it, let's say that will now weigh 2, okay, ounces. So it just weighs 2 units of mass. Now the idea is what they say is if I if I drop it from 4 times the height, I should expect, okay, so I'm dropping it for 4 centimeters, all right, that it's going to weigh 4 times as much, because they say it has 4 times the energy. Because it's 4 units of distance in the gravity. Now Galileo pointed out that the time is 1 second, 2 seconds. The time isn't. The time something's in gravity isn't 4 units of time. Okay, it's you do 3 units in the same second it took you to do the first unit. So Galileo figured that out way back in 1610 or something. Anyway, Alright, so the idea is that this 1 ounce object dropped from 4 units of distance ends up weighing, okay, 2 ounces. And the fact is if I just take 2 of these, okay, and put them on here, that will weigh 2 ounces. Okay, so I only have to lift 2 units of distance, okay, to create the same pressure, the same weight as 4 units of distance. So you can obviously understand there's no way this formula can be correct. I mean, does this make any sense? There's no way that gravity is creating 4 times the energy. So together with this simple argument that demonstrates there's no way this has 4 times the energy, okay, it only weighs the same as twice the energy. It doesn't weigh the same. So it's twice the velocity from 4 times the height. So I go 4 times the height, all I get is twice the velocity, twice the time, and twice the weight. And yet they still believe it's 4 times the energy. That's why this square is here. It's just garbage. It doesn't come out that way. It's not the truth. Alright, so it's just like they're saying that if I have an object and I throw it at a spring, okay, and I throw it with 2x the velocity, they say by this formula that it compresses the spring 4 times as much, 4 times the compression. It's supposed to have 4 times the amount of ability to do work. But the fact is it doesn't. It only comes out to 2x. Twice the velocity, twice the compression in the spring, twice the weight. That's all there is. That's the evidence. That's the science. And yet they claim it's 4. So even though it doesn't knock down 4 times as many trees, it only knocks down twice as many trees, they're claiming it's 4 times the energy. There's no evidence that it's 4 times the energy. So they have no experiment showing that it takes 4 times the fuel to go twice as fast. And they have no evidence that something going twice as fast does twice the damage to anything, ever. I mean 4 times the damage. So they have no evidence to support this nonsense. And yet I have to make these arguments year after year after year to people who, they don't care about the truth. They don't care about science. They don't care about getting right answers. They just care about supporting their Jesus theory. Their little walk on water fake energy. That's all this is about. Is the desperation of liars and cheaters, propagandists for, a fable, a religion. They want you to be a Jesus freak. They want you to be one of them. One of these silly people who believes in a silly fable. An unevidenced, silly story about gremlins. Yeah, it's that bad. So, with that context, let's move forward. I can show you the lever argument, show you lots of other arguments. It's just the point is they have no evidence. I can't debunk their theory because their theory doesn't have any evidence. There's nothing to debunk. Alright. So, leave us read the crap. Oh man, I love this part, and it perfectly illustrates your mindset. The experiment was inconsistent with my prediction and proved me wrong, so obviously the experiment must be wrong. I didn't say the experiment was wrong. I said the experiment is completely unrelated to the experiment I talked about. I talked about how you could press on a lever on one side, and I could put weights at different positions on the other side, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. That's what I suggested as an experiment. And what did they do? They wrapped a string around a cylinder and then stuck weights on it and then spun it around and said that's the same experiment. No, that's not the same experiment at all. Not even close. Alright. So, there isn't a single experiment on planet Earth that you'd accept. I'd accept one. Show me one. Okay? I went out and looked for them. What I found Professor Lewin's experiment with the fucking clay stuck on the cart. A completely fake experiment that nobody has come to defend. Not a single person has defended the idea that those 2 carts were the appropriate weights. The weights that Professor Lewin said. But they can't defend it. Because it's illogical to think it's anything other but a cheat experiment. It was obviously cheat. It was obviously just to show people the math working. It wasn't there to show science. It wasn't to show the truth. It was contrived to justify nonsense. And I've demonstrated that with overwhelming logical argument. You can look at the two cards and there's no way you can defend it. Alright, you've just made up more illogical excuses and moved the goalpost again. So more of this nonsense. How am I moving the goalpost when you picked the goalpost up, which was my simple experiment? Just make a lever, right? Make a lever, put a 2 mass here, and then put a 1 mass here. Try the experiment 2 different ways, and just press on this side and see if the 2 mass here and the 1 mass here, if you can tell the difference, that they somehow feel differently. The argument is they can't feel differently because the lever moves exactly the same for both weights. They weigh exactly the same amount, and weight is energy, weight is momentum, weight is the definition of the quantity of motion. Newton knew it, Descartes knew it, and Galileo knew it, and apparently you don't know it. 400 years later, you have become dumber. Alright. So, again, the same video. How is a constant force from a weight? So as I've pointed out, it's not really a constant force, or the weight would be falling at the same rate. It can't fall at a different rate and then you claim it's applying the same force. It has to be applying a different force if it's falling at a different rate. So that argument fails on its face. Any different than using your finger to feel the difference. The point is there's only, in my example of a lever, the whole point is that the weight is confined. It's 1 unit of weight. You're pushing up, you're not pushing all the way around constantly. So in the first case, it's just 1 unit of energy that you're applying. You're just testing with 1 unit of energy to say how much does it weigh. You're feeling how much force it applies. Okay. So it's simple. You're resisting its momentum. Yeah. Alright, more. The bearing and friction is what causes a gyroscope to behave as it does. So that's my contention. It's one apparently all these bright people can't figure out. They think gyroscopes are anti-gravity devices. No. Okay. They're just applying momentum based on friction, based on contact. You have contact with a surface and you have momentum, velocity. You're going to tend to give the thing you're in contact with velocity. Okay, I've officially had my fill of your nonsense. Who cares what you've had? This is a non-argument, of course. Alright, you're just shitting out garbage at an unbelievable rate. Another brilliant non-argument. Straight up embarrassing for you, but you're so much of a coward, okay? A little gutless, trolly coward. You don't sign your shit, okay? My face is on my shit. I have integrity. I'm a man, okay? You're a little squirmy vole, okay? You're not even behaving as you know, anything that could be called even a monkey. All right. Here we go. Same video. This coward who won't put his name on his pile of poo he's plopping into the public. Says the person who cries constantly about being doxxed. Yeah, I want the same rights everybody else has. They have a right to a screen name. I have a right to one. Okay, everybody doesn't need to know Veritasium's name. It doesn't, you know, put his real name in the title of a video if you don't have to. There's absolutely no reason to play with people's real identities because we know how dangerous that is. So I'm just asking for that courtesy. And what I'm saying, though, is that, yeah, if you're not going to put your name on it, then you should at least put your face on it. All right? So is that so difficult? At least make it known for certain who the fuck you are, okay, that is making your accusations. You're going to make accusations directly personal, attacking somebody else. You ought to have the guts to put your fucking goddamn identity on the line. I mean, I'm not saying your personal address. I'm not saying your personal name. I just mean by name, put your face on it. Sign it. You little Weasley coward. Okay, I won't attach his name to the piles of poo he's plopping into the public. Obviously, my name is attached to it. It's attached to my websites. It's all findable if you must find it. The argument is there's absolutely no reason for anyone to use it if they don't have some purpose in using it. Okay, some non-malicious purpose. There's absolutely no value. I don't publish under my personal name, so there's absolutely no reason to use my personal identity or my personal name in any commentary directed at my channel content. And that's a fact, and that's a fact I will, I know Pierrot's name, I know lots of people's names. I don't use their real names because it's rude, obnoxious, trolling, extortive type of behavior. Well, again, we know what people will do. They'll go out and look for your address, they'll go out and look for your family members, and they'll start playing games with them. They'll start using them to extort you. Alright? So we know the danger, so don't get there and pretend nobody understands this malicious weapon you can apply to people. It's like somebody narking on the cops. Oh, let's not pretend that it doesn't take a great deal of courage, because the gang, the government gang, will come and get you. How many times have we seen this? So fuck you and that bullshit. You should be thrown in the fuck you house, just for even suggesting that people don't have some rights here. If somebody's going to make personal attacks, they ought to put their fucking face on it. Alright, let posterity know who the fuck you were and what you were made out of. Alright, what you sided with. You little fucker. I mean, we all should vote publicly. Alright, I'm going to bury you on the ash heap of asshole. That's a nice line. I like it. My minions are going to be pissing on your graves forever. And by minions, I mean all the people who say in hindsight, God damn, science is important, and we really have to tighten this up and do this better. And we really should learn from the mistakes. That we shouldn't be listening to the crap from the crap spewers. Alright? And that's all these people are. No evidence, just, personal attacks and mush. Alright, do you actually believe these totally insane delusions of grandeur? It's not a delusion of grandeur to point out there's absolutely, you have no counter argument. Just as you displayed right here in this comment section, you have no counter argument. It is a fact that 1/2 mv squared is a religious delusion. It has no credibility. It had no credibility in the 1600s when it was invented. It had no credibility when they did silly little clay experiments and fooled a bunch of dupes. Okay, and ever since then, it's had no credibility because there's not a single piece of experimental evidence. Again, no professional bowler is taking advantage of the huge energy increase they could gain by throwing an 8-pound ball instead of a 16-pound ball. Not a single one. Not a single successful professional bowler is using an 8-pound ball. Because it doesn't work. Because it doesn't produce twice the energy. Because it's a delusion. It's just absolute silly nonsense. And here you are defending it. Being a proud member of the marching idiocracy. Except you're not proud. You're a scurvy little gutless coward, who just hides behind rocks and throws mud. Alright. Are you totally incapable of self-reflection? Again, I have nothing to apologize for. I've done my job as a decent human being quite well throughout my whole life. All I've tried to do is understand the world as best I can and do the best I can to add up what's going on and come up with rational conclusions. It's not my fault that you believe in a fable. It's not my fault that you grew up thinking Jesus is Lord and all that kind of bullshit. I'm sorry your silly little fable is just that, a silly little fable, but that's what it is. The reason the third arm is used is so that it can move the center of mass below the fulcrum so it can oscillate. It can oscillate without that feature. So again, it's just horseshit to say you can't oscillate the lever. All you got to do is hang the weights from it and it oscillates just fine. Like you want. So he says in capital letters. So again, it's not that hard to cause it to oscillate. Okay, otherwise it won't. Like ing demonstrated. Well, he never demonstrated how it won't. So that's just a pile of shit. You are unbelievably thick. No, you're unbelievably thick. You can't get older a tool. I mean, scales have been around for thousands of years, people have used the lever as a scale to measure the weight of objects, to compare the momentum of objects. So you're just full of absolute shit to say there's some problem getting a scale to oscillate. That is just a fucking lie. Alright, I just watched your live Brozo in Clownorama video. So I can already see it now, that you totally don't understand center of mass. I understand that there's a center of gravity, okay, and that's what these things are basically using as the energy source. But I also understand that it really doesn't matter because we can see exactly what the lever's doing. It is actually comparing the momentums, and it is showing you things that have equal momentums by not moving. So it's showing you. Okay, it's easy to understand. Or how the third arm functions. It just functions to create more energy that you have to use to move the object. So obviously you can't move. If something half the mass is moving at twice the velocity and I increase the mass that it has to move, then it's obviously not going to go twice the velocity if I increase the mass. So the third arm just breaks the equality you created on the lever. It breaks the balance. Okay, and they're now going to latch on to that as a totally illogical excuse until the end of time. I don't need an illogical excuse. It's clearly the experiment has nothing to do with my contention. My contention is that the one mass twice the distance out is the same weight as the two mass, and there's no instrument on Earth that can tell from the other side of the fulcrum which object is on the lever, because it weighs exactly the same. Alright, are the walls collapsing within your mind yet? So again, they've shown no evidence. They have no experimental evidence. They can't link me to some experiment. They can't link me to anything that shows 4 times the energy being collected, or it taking 4 times the energy to cause twice the velocity. They can't show a single experiment where twice the velocity creates 4 times the effect, or where you need 4 times the energy or fuel to make something go twice as fast. They can't show a single fucking experiment. And he's saying I should have some collapsing mind problem? Why should I be in doubt at all? You have 0 evidence, okay, and I have all logic and reasoning on my side. So why should I be in doubt? Oh, that's right. There's absolutely no reason for me to doubt. Okay, the new Mindless Marbles video where he once again completely obliterates you with a stupid text video. 8 minutes of him reading fucking text. Okay, so it's got nothing in it. It's nothing. He's just saying the same shit he said in the first video. So absolutely useless as a counter argument. You are fucking hopeless. LOL. You are fucking anonymous and useless. And you don't use any punctuation. Okay, your response was so pathetically bad. Ooh, I'm so impressed. Big mad, so sad, too bad. Oh, it's a nice little poem, but yeah, it doesn't impress me either. Excuses, excuses. Time to conjure up excuses. No evidence, no evidence, no evidence, no evidence. No arguments, no arguments, no arguments, no arguments. No logic, no logic, no logic, no logic. No facts, no facts, no facts, no facts. So that's all you have is nothing. Sad face cry time. Yes, yeah, very convincing argument. Thank you. It's just amazing. Sorry, that was the wrong link. Here is the Mindless Marbles video where you got absolutely demolished. I'd already played the video by the time you posted that comment, so I'd already seen the other video. This was apparently the Brozo video, which was really a steaming pile of crap. Alright, let's see. I think I have read this previously. You've invested a lot of time fixating on some claim about a special case of a lever, a balance oscillates. It's not a special case, okay? My case is the common case. The fact that you can use a lever as a balance and you make scales out of the lever is the common case. The uncommon case is specifically putting the weights so there's the same amount above as there is below the center line. That's the special case. All right. Bro showed how that isn't necessarily the case. Brozo didn't show, okay, Brozo's experiment that he did with cue balls showed exactly what I stated. That if you use the same force you'll cause the two-mass object to move with half the velocity of the one-mass object, twice the distance. He showed exactly that truth verified. He showed conservation of momentum and the complete obliteration of conservation of kinetic energy. No sign that kinetic energy was conserved, every sign that momentum is conserved. You also make a faulty assumption that some energy on each side must be necessarily equal. Yes, that's right. To oscillate, it has to be equal. The oscillator will break down if the amounts of energy required to move are unbalanced on the lever. Well, if that were the case, there also would be no movement and no oscillation. There would be oscillation, it would just not last as long. And if we were hanging the lever from a string or something, you would see the imbalance because the string would even start to move. Because the fulcrum is seeing the imbalance in the energy. There's more energy on one side than the other side. Then the fulcrum will try to move. Why do you have the light turning on and off in your video? Because I conserve energy, trying to be a little bit green. And the idea is that if I put my lights on motion sensors, then I don't have to turn them on and off. So it works pretty good, frankly. Fuckhead. You used to do that and have some loud beep every 15 minutes. Yeah, the microwave used to beep. It wasn't every 15, I don't think, but who cares? So, what lunatic worries about this kind of crap, right? Anyway, good luck. Of course, what I just said, well, okay, so we did read that part, because I remember the good luck part, and I said, well, I don't offer any good luck to you. I hope, like any other Nazi or evil, civilization-destroying, decency-destroying ideology, I hope you get what you fucking deserve, you piece of shit. You're anti the truth, anti-facts, anti-evidence, anti-science. I don't offer you any good luck. Fuck you. Fuck you and your ambitions. Fuck you and your adventure. Fuck you and everything you do. I can't hope you to fall into a sewer, with any more sincerity. Okay. May tragedy find you and give you exactly what you deserve, you scum. Okay. Alright, so we'll see if there's any commentary. Oh, look at that. Looks like there is something. Charming. Alright. So Nancy's back. How do you write gravitational potential energy in terms of big G? What the fuck are you talking about? Sorry. I'm not sure. How do you write it as big G? That's just what they use. They use the term G. Whether it's big or small, it just really doesn't matter. It's the gravitational constant. It's just a number. Blah, 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 blah. 6 point blah, blah, blah times 10 to the 15th or whatever the fuck it is. What are you asking me? Hey, Gary, did you get a chance to take a look at my art? Yeah, it's the one thing you sent me. I mean, frankly, it's not very, it's not related at all to physics, okay? So it's a completely different subject, and I don't know, it's interesting, but yeah, I don't know if it's applicable to what I'm arguing as a conversation, but whatever, we'll see. Mindless Marbles has no marbles. I mean, I have a lot to do, yeah, I was going to get back to you eventually, blah, 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 blah. Text is better than videos for making physics arguments. So you're saying all those stupid idiots who have blackboards, when Feynman's writing on a blackboard, that's totally useless. I mean, there's no point in like drawing waves and symbols and targets and all that. That doesn't help at all. Illustrations suck. Fuck that, huh? I mean, fuck you, Nancy. I mean, yeah, okay, I guess I don't like Nancy much. All right. She left early last time, so I guess she left before I was going to block her. Yeah, whatever. Video, I mean, I'm talking about a specific subject. Did you notice that so far the whole conversation is about one specific subject? 1/2 mv squared. And what we're kind of seeking here is either you confirm that it's an unevidenced pile of shit and agree with me, or you make some defense and argue, oh, well, wait a minute, what about this experiment that proves that there is 4 times the energy, or 8 times the energy, or 1,000,000 times the energy? You should probably be participating in some manner that's somehow relevant. So here you are talking about the gravitational constant again. I just used the word relevant. What are you talking about? What is your point? Would you think there's some other thing that everybody should worry about? That gravity is something other than a proportional force that affects things based on their mass? The heavier thing collects more gravity in the same falling time that a light thing does. Feathers hit the ground. They both move at the same speed, but the feather hits the ground and goes poof, and the hammer hits the ground and goes poof! That's because the hammer collected a hell of a lot more energy. And the constant explains that to you. The constant is the rate at which the matter absorbs the force. Oh, fuck. Text makes conversations lost because our definitions of words mean different from one another. Language can be lost in our definition. Whatever. What is all this? I don't need any of this either. The subject isn't text versus video, because frankly it's not worth a conversation. There's absolutely no reason to have a conversation about, oh, let's go backwards. Why don't we start writing on dead sheep? Oh, fuck. When you discover something interesting, most people try to publish it, not make a video. Yeah, I did try to publish. But yeah, it's the Catholic Review. You can't get published. The publishers aren't interested in the truth. Just like I can't pay, okay, flat earther debunkers to debunk me. I offer them $3,000 to debunk me, and they won't do it. So if you can't pay them to debunk you or to make fun of you, what odds are there that you're going to publish your theory in their propaganda paper about all this entanglement crap and many worlds and wooey particles and all this fucking antimatter? They don't want to hear that all that's baby talk and fake. Ugh. Anyway, there's nothing more honest or more real than a person making a video explaining why they think you're wrong or you're an asshole. I'm making a video explaining to you right now, you are an idiot. Okay? You're typing crap. Useless fucking mush. And I'm explaining to you why it's not on the subject, the specific subject. It's not anywhere close to being relevant to the real conversation. It's just a bunch of little baby talk that you're making noise, okay, because it's not really a subject. I don't even think Wolfram would bother wasting time with the subject. Okay. Anyway, unless we agree on a definition. Look, the problem with vocabulary exists whether you're making a video, or you're making an audio file, or you're making written text. Yes, the problem with word definitions are always going to be a problem. But there's no problem in terms of making an argument. And I'm just saying clearly arguments are enhanced with images. And it's even a lot better if you can actively move the image as you're talking about what with the changes you're making. It's sort of the ideal circumstances to draw it and then put it into motion and explain it. I'm just saying anyone who thinks that's less informative has got to be retarded. So obviously Nancy has to be retarded. Okay. Let's see. F equals GMM R squared. So what is your problem with this basic formula? What the fuck do you think it's missing, you fucking retard? Let's see what she says. Doesn't have units of momentum or energy. What do you think a force is? Force is just another way of saying energy. Newton said that, okay? Newton said you want to double something's motion, you just double the force. You want to double its momentum, double the force. So Newton made it clear that F equals E. Oh, fuck. Can I read your paper? Okay, I'm just going to delete you. Is that okay? Can I just delete you? I mean, I can just block you now, right? You don't have any interest in making an argument or staying on the subject, right? You're just wasting everybody's time with this little mush. Can I read your paper? There is written stuff on my website, but frankly, it's very old. I make videos. You seem to be able to watch videos. Here you are in this room listening to video. Okay, what didn't you understand about the fucking goddamn example I gave in the beginning of this video? I gave an example that proves, okay, you can't conserve both kinetic energy and momentum. It can't happen. Every time the masses you use a different mass, you're going to either destroy energy or create energy by this stupid, retarded formula. I made that clear. Now make your counter argument, you dumb cunt. Jesus Christ. A force is a force, of course, of course. Oh, shit. Shit. I might as well go back to reading Brozo comments. So there is one of those. So we'll go read one of those. And then we can also go to the comments on the Mindless Marbles videos and just marvel at the stupidity. Yes, it's brutal, but isn't it deserved? I mean, she showed up the last time and talked little jibber jabber, little baby talk, and then she shows up again, does the same baby talk. All right. So here we're back to Dr. Castro. Well, fuck you in the head until dead. Where the fuck? He doesn't even link to his fucking papers. Where the fuck are his papers, for fuck's sake? You know, what a pile of crap. Goodbye, troll. Ugh, it's just Farley. Disguise. He's doing his dressing up as a woman thing. He likes to do that. He likes to put on a big fat leather girdle, you know, and smear some red crap on his face. And, you know, I'm a woman now. It's disgusting. Oh, God. Humans. Just disgusting. I just hate this planet. So you can see all this crappy chat. Maybe I have to bring it up a hair. Let's see this. Yeah, you really can't see the newest crap. There, that should be the newest crap. Alright, so let's go to another video. So, what the hell's the name of that guy who does the stupid videos? Yearny or something. Yearny. Okay, I think I found it. Bruce Yearny. So, you know, he's talking about angular momentum by rolling stuff down, you know, slopes. And he doesn't really, you know, he's calling it moment of inertia, but he never really explains that it's really just about angular momentum. It's about the fact that you're giving an object a complex momentum. That is, you're moving it this way, and you're saying, well, how much does it process is one of its motions, the procession in a direction. But the real velocity is in the fact that the mass is moving a circular distance in space. And it's doing that circular distance in space at a certain velocity. And it's the velocity of that. It's the velocity, this circular velocity, that is the real energy consumed. And instead of saying something simple like that, he talks a bunch of shit. But it's such a trivial video that there's really no point in me going over any of it. So what we'll do is just read Brozo's comment, because it ought to be funny as hell. Let's see how long it is. Usually we could have a contest. How long will Stephen Bro's comment be? He has some little problems lately, so it's not quite as bad as it used to be. But let's just say 4 paragraphs, I'll guess. Oh, look at that. Only one big one. Now, what a surprise. Yeah, he must be really feeling poorly. Okay. Your students seem like little geniuses. Love the designs they came up with your demos. Me and a few others just happen to be in the midst of a giant argument with someone who disputes there's any difference in speed when objects are placed on different parts of a lever. So he just said that I'm denying that, dispute that there is any difference in speed. I'm clearly the one saying there's a huge difference in speed. So does that make any sense? No. All right, of a lever. So long as it balances. So of course I'm saying the one mass object which moves twice the distance when it's twice the distance from the fulcrum. It has twice the velocity. Clearly my assertion. Okay, so just lie some more, Brozo. You can't even argue your argument articulately. You can't even make your point. Your point is that kinetic energy is conserved somehow when it's obvious that momentum is conserved. He claims the speeds are exactly the same. So does that make any sense at all? Where did I make that claim? I mean, where in any misconstruing of my arguments could he say that? I mean, what I said is that the two mass, let's say I have a two mass on one side of the lever, and then I have a two mass on the other side, equal distant from the fulcrum. Yes, these two things will move at the same speed. And my argument is if I put the one mass out here, it'll move twice the speed, but the two mass will move exactly the same speed. This will move the same speed, okay? This will move the same speed, and this moves the same speed. See that? See that? This moves the same speed, whether this is out here or the two masses here. This will move the same speed, regardless of what I put out here. So if I go the right distance, half the mass, twice the distance, 1/4 the mass, 4 times the distance, as long as I obey those rules, this side will move exactly the same. That's my assertion. Now, Nancy, if you're still listening, do you understand how, illustrating that is fundamental to being able to describe it? That if I had to try to explain what I just stated in text, I would make as big a mess as Brozo just made. Anyway, oh God, you people are just so fucking stupid. I mean, if you people really, I mean, I'd do better because you're all programmed and brainwashed. I mean, I would do better with a class of 6th graders, right? Because they still have some honesty in them. And they'd say, oh yeah, there's no reason to believe that crap they say. You're right, your evidence is much better. Your arguments are much better. Oh yeah, I get it totally, They'd be so much more receptive to the truth. And it's just because you're all brainwashed Borgites that you can't step past it. And also you've wasted your life living a delusion, a fake life, and you don't want to hear that. Oh, I lived for the wrong side. I rooted for the wrong team. You really don't want to hear that. You wasted years or decades of your life rooting for the bad guys. Okay. Let's see. As long as it balances, he claims the speeds are exactly the same. So, what the fuck? In his long-standing claim that the kinetic energy formula implies levers create free energy. It doesn't imply it. It overtly states it must happen. That's the consequence of the MV being conserved. You're converting a big M and a small v into a big V and a little m, which means you automatically are creating free energy because the V is squared. Not complicated. You don't have a choice. Your theory says the free energy should be there. And obviously it's not. Just like your 5-ton train going 10 miles an hour will never win a tug of war with a 10-ton train going 5 miles an hour. It's never going to happen. Because it isn't the truth that the 5-ton train has anything more than the 10-ton train. We have been banging our heads against a brick wall for 2 years, trying to lie and cheat the truth as much as we can, trying to propagandize and support an absolutely silly religious pile of crap. Okay. Devising endless demonstrations. Devising is the key word. That's all they're doing. They're spending time devising gimmicks instead of just doing simple experiments that prove the point, like the Mythbusters did. Alright, every single one of which he claims are cheats, and I do so with good reason. Again, the Professor Lewin Clay, for example, on the cards. The cheaters are alive and well. Cheating is what people do. As you've demonstrated, you fucking lying cheater. You took an experiment where you got a completely ambiguous answer, completely in between my prediction and your prediction, and claimed it showed your prediction correct. You're a cheater and a liar and a creep and a bum and an ignorant asshole. Facts. I really want him to see your video. For what? What is in his video? What the fuck is in his video? There's absolutely nothing in his video I don't already know. Put the weight on the outside of the wheel and it goes it has to move the weight faster. The weight will have more momentum because it's covering more distance. I mean, duh. It's exactly the lever argument. It takes more energy to move the same mass twice as fast. If you want to move the mass twice as fast, you're going to have to give it twice as much energy. Not 4 times, just twice. But it's clearly, yes, if you have a wheel and you put the weight on the outside of the wheel will have more angular momentum as it rolls. Okay. Let's see. See your video. Although in all likelihood he will claim that what you are showing isn't real. He didn't show anything. What did he show, you fucking lunatic? There's nothing in this video of his that shows anything to do with kinetic energy or momentum. Not a single shred of the video has anything to do with measuring how much force you put in or how much force you got out. Not a single piece of the video. Oh, what a delusional moron. For whatever reason he can invent. So again, there is nothing in the video. It's completely useless as a demonstration of, look how mv squared works. There's no equation in the video. There's no anything in the video. Still, it is enjoyable, your demonstration. So again, this one was really, I'd say it's almost a criminally uneducational video in the sense that he doesn't even explain why where you place the masses matters. That in fact what you're doing is moving the masses at a higher velocity, and it's the higher velocity that requires more energy. Obviously it can't go as far as fast because it takes more energy to get it to go. Okay, so I'm telling everyone about this video. I mean, amazing. He thinks the video is actually saying something that anybody should not, that even, again, a grammar school kid should be able to understand. The further out I put a mass, the faster it moves. It's just like the lever argument. The further out I put the mass, the faster it has to move. And that means, you know, for the movement on the other side, it's got to move a lot more. The further out I put it, the lot more. It's higher and higher velocity. Of course it takes more energy to move it. Of course. Amazing. Thank you for doing it. Oh God, you're just saying he can't be this stupid. But he is. Some very bright pupils there by sounds of it. So again, he's got this thing about children. Yeah, kind of weird. They must be a delight. Ooh, yes, he's having little delight thoughts as he thinks about children to work with. Oh, puke. So I think that's the only somebody we might know commenting. So I think that's it. But this is just trivial. This video is a trivial pile of mush. Yuck. So anyway. Alright, so we'll see if there's any new comments worth commenting on. Any new chat. Chatters. No. Wow, great. Where can I send science video for you to review? I don't even, what does that even mean? So you can't upload it as a private video? No, well, upload it as an unlisted video on YouTube. You have a YouTube channel. Upload it to your channel as unlisted, and then all you have to do is send me the link. But I mean, the email address is in every single one of the descriptions of my videos has the email address in it. I mean, it's ds@donotgo.com. You want to send me a link? Send me the link. What the fuck? Are you retarded? I haven't blocked you, so just post the link in the goddamn, post the link in the comments section later of this video. Why is this so challenging for you people? Alright. Gary just conceded Mindless Marvel's point about the half mass, twice the distance lever having more rotational inertia. I didn't concede anything. I just pointed out the obvious. It's half the mass. Of course it has to move twice the velocity to be the same momentum. Are you fucking so stupid? It doesn't have any more inertia. It doesn't have any more resistance to motion. It's half the mass. Well, I shouldn't have to. It's half the mass. Of course you move it twice the velocity. And yes, 1 times 2 equals 2 mass times 1 velocity. Yes, those two things are equal, you retard. Oh, fuck. I mean, I can't believe people are this stupid. So they actually think it's harder to push the one mass twice the speed than it is to push the two mass half the speed. They think they have some experiment somewhere that demonstrates this fact. The fact isn't demonstrated anywhere. It's not a fact at all. It's just as easy to make a 5-ton train going 10 miles an hour as it is to make a 10-ton train going 5 miles an hour. It takes the same energy to make both of those things happen. You could do it on the lever. Stephen Bro did it on the lever. He theoretically created a 5-ton train going 10 miles an hour and a 10-ton train going 5 miles an hour with the same fucking spring compression. He did the experiment. Same energy created both trains. He did the fucking experiment, you fucking lying retards. Okay, so let's see. Of course, the point will go over his head of the mythbusters who watch Gary like the religious and whatever this is, figurehead. What the fuck are you talking about? The mouth breathers. Oh, whatever. And even if they were caught, these are just all insults. They would fail to understand the relevance of the point in larger art. So no evidence here at all. You just demonstrated your entire lever argument. Not that anyone follows you will notice. I demolished it. No, I didn't demolish it at all. So none of this happened. But wanted to prove that one because it will just get buried in your hours of drivel. So whatever. You've had your little spill of crap. Fuck off. It has no argument. Alright, Baseless Claims Channel. DS makes up facts. I mean, these are not arguments. This is a waste of my time, the audience's time, everybody's time. Make an argument or I'm just going to block you, okay? Alright. Yep, exactly right. And he missed Bro's comment too. He misread. What did I misread in it? Brozo was saying there was something in that moronic video about rolling crap down a ramp that had something to do, okay, with the fact that a lever converts one momentum into another momentum. That it converts the momentum of one weight velocity configuration into another mass velocity configuration. That you're just doing a conversion. You're moving energy from a 10-ton train going 5 miles an hour into a 5-ton train going 10 miles an hour. That's what levers do. Where did that experiment have anything to do with that? That's my contention. That's right, had nothing to do with it. I don't know how sincere your apology is, but fine. Alright, so now you're going too far, right? You can't wishy-washy this way. And so this is just, what, another America boy. So what, just another troll, right? Another person who loves wasting people's time. I mean, all you do is go on the internet and try to find a live room just to make these kind of noises, right? I mean, I just can't even imagine something being... I would hate to be lots of different kinds of crappy organisms on this planet, like being a tick or something, or a leech, but I really hate being you. Okay, I'd much rather be a leech than you. I'd rather be a praying mantis. I'd rather be a... There's all kinds of nasty bugs on this earth that I'd rather be than you. But you have to spend your time doing this waste everybody's time bullshit. You can't find anything better to do with your time than just be a lousy, stinking boombox playing, noise making, litter making, smell making piece of shit. Oh, fuck. Ugh. If I was God, there'd be little sparkly bits in the asphalt. And the little sparkly bits would be your compressed essence. Your kind would all be steamrolled. Every time a bell rings, you know, a little piece of sparkly asphalt would be created. Alright, so we should go to one of the mindless videos and go find some of that mush, the mush comments that we'll know about beyond that video. We can make fun of some of those. The deplorables. Oh God, I just hate this planet. Just hate it. Alright, so we need... Where's the mindless marbles video? Don't see it here. I have to go find it? I don't want to go finding it. Yuck. Alright, well there's probably a link to it here. Yeah, there's more on left links to it. So one of these will do. And such. Be with you shortly. Blah 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 blah. Alright, I found it. So, there we go. So, absolute crap video. Like I said, it's just a bunch of text.
Alright, so the two masks here. The two things would feel exactly...
He plays me doing exactly, saying exactly the right thing, and then pretends he counter-argued any of it. He never counter-argues a single thing. I point out the friction argument. I point out it's not 4 times the height doesn't create twice 4 times the energy. So I mean, it's a complete victory for my side, and then he just does all this text crap. He just reads his little text speech. Absolutely useless crap. He says here, I demonstrated an experiment that debunks Gary's attempt. And he never even touches my lever argument. It's not a lever. He doesn't do the same experiment. He doesn't in any way prove anything I said to be incorrect. It's just a huge, giant fucking lie. Okay. Alright, so there's a little preamble here. Let's see what this crap is. Thank you, Draft Science and Parable Logic, for providing an experiment that directly debunks your poorly thought out. So at least he's pointing out that this is thought out, and so I'm actually making a point, and that you're not on the subject. Okay, if only you had just tested your own claims. I didn't need to test them, first off, but I did. Okay, there's no doubt about it. I've played with scales lots. Okay. Right here, and that's all this is. And I also watched Brozo's video where he proves the point. He uses a spring to create the same amount of energy, and he gives a 1 mass the energy, and he gives a 2 mass the energy, and the 1 mass goes twice the velocity with the same spring compression. Okay, the same weight, the same pressure, the same torque. You're the one sitting here just contriving a nonsense experiment that not related in any way to what was done. Alright, I have a feeling I already read this, but anyway. And we're honest, the results, you did not match what you expected. Well, again, this is just absolute bullshit. You would have seen how untenable and out of touch with reality your claims really are. So again, he never even came close to my claims. Never came close to proving that a 1 mass object twice the distance doesn't weigh exactly the same as a 2 mass half that distance. Doesn't in any way debunk that at all. Doesn't even come close. So I expect either of you to either come here and point out honest flaws. It's not close to the same experiment. My experiment has the 1 impulse of energy, a certain amount of energy put into a system, and you watch what the system does with that closed amount of energy. You're putting a differential amount of energy into 2 different systems and then saying that's the same experiment. I'm saying that's nonsense. Oh, there's no point in reading it, right? I mean, his premise is so ridiculous that his fucking experiment has anything to do with measuring the weight of objects on a lever. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. Alright, let's see. Gary has repeatedly been talking about pissing on others' graves. Yes, it's the, it's just It's a perfect metaphorical kind of justice. You can never get real justice, so all you can get is a metaphorical justice. And he will be vindicated. But if he keeps being shown wrong, so you didn't show anybody wrong, you're just such a liar to say that your fucking experiment in any way proves anything I said to be inaccurate or wrong. Every bit of what I said is going to be proven to be true. You're the liar, the cheater, the fucking anti-science liar. Okay, you're just a liar, a pathetic liar to say you have any way proven what I said not to be absolutely correct, that you could not tell the difference. I put a quarter mass 4 times the distance away. I put an eighth mass 8 times the distance away. You will not be able to tell the difference. You will only feel the, say, 9 pounds of weight. They'll all weigh 9 pounds. They won't weigh 8. They won't weigh 7. They won't weigh 17. They'll all weigh exactly the same. And you didn't touch that argument, you lying piece of scurvy shit. Okay, anyway, god damn, I hate these people. Liars suck. Such a gross lie to say you proved anything except that you're a liar. Alright. Well said, Brozo says this. So he just throws a pack of lies where he's doing a completely different experiment, never touches the argument I made, doesn't come near it. You know, this pathetic liar. And he sits there and says, well said. I mean, disgusting. Let's see. By the way, YouTube is repeatedly preventing me from replying to some of your comments, even with the word testing. YouTube must be a huge Gary fans. Yeah, right. Sure. Yeah, YouTube's my best friend. Oh, God, what a lunatic. Very good and correct video. So again, it's just amazing. Don't be disheartened by the response. Yes, don't be disheartened by the fact that you have no evidence. You can't stay on the subject. You can't say anything honest about any experiment ever conducted by mankind. You lie about the 2-slit experiment. You just lie. You're just liars, pathetic liars about what experiments are actually showing and what they're doing. It's disgusting that you can get away with this crap. You know, that the rational, intelligent people wouldn't just show up and say, you can't say that, you fuck. I mean, that's outrageous. You're such liars. Don't be a liar. You make us look like liars. You make science defenders look like pathetic liars. All right. Yeah, just terrible. All right. So this is Brozo's regular comment. This is great, but gosh, you need a stout heart and massive patience to deal with the volume of barely comprehensible mush. So it's barely comprehensible when I draw on the board something dropping from 4 times the height, and I say it only weighs twice as much, it only has twice the velocity, and it only takes twice the time to fall. Now, any one of those arguments are the ones you're supposed to dispute with a piece of evidence. Because if they stand as the truth, you're really up shit's creek, aren't you? Twice the velocity, twice the weight, twice the time, and you think that adds up to 4 times the energy? You think you can rationally make that make sense, you fucking idiot? You know, weight isn't energy. So in spite of, you know, Einstein telling you that essentially that weight is energy, you don't think so. Okay. Not that Einstein is much of a source. Alright, Mush. Desperately trying to avoid the simplicity. He puts that in capital letters. So he's taken a simple argument, he tied a string on it, rolled it around in multiple circles, and dropped a weight, and says that's making the experiment simpler. No, that's clearly making it more complicated. Duh. Alright, anyway. Of the actual arguments Gary himself proposed. So he's actually trying to imply somehow that it's not simple enough. My simple experiment of just pressing on the lever and with the different weights on it, that's not simple enough. Amazing. I refuted 100%. So there's no refuting. It's just such a lie. It's just such a disgusting lie. oh, there must be an element of religious fervor. So again, obviously I've pointed out who the religious kook was, Leibniz. All right, and even the Châtelet woman was a bit of a crystal-chasing, New Age wooercist, okay, defending free will and crap like that. All right, behind their motives when they, yeah, and she did believe in God, frankly. Behind their motives when they cannot deal with the simple argument and have to go off in other directions. So again, what's other direction? I've been making the same argument for 2 years. The argument that levers convert momentum, and because they can do that conversion, they can exchange mass between different weighted objects, I mean massive objects, and they can do what Newton's cradle can't do, and they do it perfectly and quite functionally, and they prove Newton is absolutely correct, that it's all about just this quantity of motion, and all you're doing is you're exchanging it between objects, and you do the exchange through friction. Anyway, well done for putting this together in a form that makes it easier to grasp than by listening to 3 hours of waffle. There's no waffling and mush. So I overtly state things. Okay, there's no waffling. 4 times the height does not create 4 times the damage, 4 times the heat, 4 times anything. It's only twice. Twice the weight, twice the time, twice the velocity, twice the capacity to move matter in the universe, and that's all. Okay. Godfrey! Godfrey! Okay, Steve Godfrey. He simply reasons from his guts and declares falsehood as truth. But we don't know how to disprove any of it because we don't know anything about this subject. Okay, in his video, so he's just quoting other people's text. In his video 231, whatever that, okay, regarding what are we, okay, at 29 seconds. So what the hell is this? He confirms, I don't have any curiosity. That's right. Yeah, I mean, the truth is really simple and obvious, and frankly, you people just don't want the truth. It's that simple. I mean, evolution isn't all that complicated. Error code, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's all very simple. And you've just taken a very simple story and just put a bunch of your fables on it. You've just turned it into crap. People are probably noticing that. The people who've seen some of my videos. So at least he's conceding his videos. His videos are just, you know, the worst possible weak argument. So if you don't have an argument, you make a Godfrey video. Okay, because you don't know how to make an argument, you don't have any counter arguments. You just distort and lie and quote mine and use all the negative tactics to imply that somebody's advocating something they don't advocate, and you treat them that way. So, and this is coming from a guy who defends his father beating his mother to death. I think his father killed his mother. I can make up any story I want, right? After you raped and killed your sister, I think, and then you defended the rape of your sister, you know, because she was just a dumb whore talk shit, so she got what she deserved. Didn't you say your mother got what she deserved? I think you said exactly that. I mean, you know, so you just make up a story, right? And I'm not making it up, right? I mean, he's sort of already confessed that that's what really happened. Okay, and he thought his mother deserved to get the shit kicked out of her. I mean, she asked for it. She talked back. Fuck that. And he's doing the same thing to me, basically, right? He's just a bully. That's all he learned. Is you just use bully tactics. Extortion. Yeah, try to get to their family. Try to get to some other way that you can weasel in and try to put the screws to them. He's a little baby mobster. Okay, but he doesn't have any balls or guts. Okay, he's hiding in Japan. Okay, behind Japanese law. You know. And so he can get away with this horse shit. Okay, but he won't over time, Steve. Okay? Yeah. So I will, you know, the idea is the truth is going to win. And the truth is you're a shitty human being. And you don't deserve, okay, fair or decent or respectful treatment. You deserve to be punished because you really are just a fucking criminal. Alright, they might have drawn that conclusion. I don't even read books anymore. Yeah, well, again, what's your recommended list? I'd love to see your wonderful recommended list. Who's the Einstein on Earth now? Who's the go-to smart person? The Steve Godfrey go-to smart person. To be serious? Piro? You're ridiculous. All right. It's like I have every answer I need. So I have no driving. So he doesn't have any of this in quotes. Why don't you put this in quotes? These are almost like my quotes, I think. I have no driving curiosity at all, and kind of a weird position because my whole life I was sort of trying to verify, at least, find the evidence of, or a proof of different things just to make my own argument stronger. So what's wrong with somebody saying that? That's right, I spent my whole life looking for ways to just, explain to other people what seems quite obvious to me. So I'm saying it's quite obvious to me that mv squared is a preposterous error. Unlike you, I actually researched it, okay, the history, and I saw how the arguments were ridiculously stupid. Okay, so this idea should never even have gotten off the ground. A scientist should never even have proposed it. It's so fucking obviously wrong. Okay, and the fact is the Newtonians showed up and they did mumble the right words and say, Professor Leibniz, you're creating free energy, you lunatic. All right, and everybody else said, yeah, that's right, he is. And he died a nobody. So if that was just the story, then it wouldn't have been so bad, right? But the really tragic part is that Leibniz had converted a few morons, and then they ended up being tutors for some stupid rich people in France, and they tutored them in this ludicrous religion, and so then they contrived this little clay experiment, and that's it, with little round objects falling into clay. But if you really research it, just see, this isn't good science. So what are you defending? Do you understand the concept of science? Where you try to find as many experimental proofs as possible. You try to do everything from as many ways as you can to try to test it. That you test the fuck out of something. If you were designing a car, wouldn't you test the fuck out of it to make sure it's not going to kill people? They don't test the fuck out of this mush they sell. You fuck. And you don't even have the integrity to admit the science is weak. It's weakly evidenced. You can't even admit it's weakly evidenced. With 400 times better viewing resolution from space, they haven't done the simple Eddington experiment. It's so simple from space, no eclipse required, and they haven't done it. You think that's good science? That's good testing? I mean, you're such a pathetic liar for bad ethics and behavior. Ugh, disgusting. Alright, then I sort of realized that there's a certain futility in this. That it's not so much about the character of the argument or the quality of it, the detail of it, the strength of it, even as an intellectual thing, the integrity of it. I don't know the right word here. It's more about personality. Yeah, so I was arguing how you assholes are just feeding on bullshit. You just want to be sold crap. And all you do is buy into charisma, superficial, cosmetic elements of integrity. You don't care about logic and the truth. That has no integrity to you fucking pieces of shit. So yes, I would suggest anybody go to this link, watch that fucking clip, watch me explain how dismal it is to be on Earth in the middle of an idiocracy. How grotesque and disappointing it is to be among you pieces of scum. You people who just can't do anything honestly or with any fucking integrity. Yes, it is disgusting. I find you revolting, nauseating, vomit-worthy. Sincere and honest statement. Okay, anyway. So Alexander, let's see. You apply torque directly to the bearing because of the way you conceptualize the experiment through the idea of moment of inertia. So again, it doesn't matter. There's no such thing as inertia. So no one's ever going to explain what this inertia is. There's no resistance. Nothing resists being moved. The truth is, though, that you have to give it enough energy to move it. If something is sticking to the ground because gravity is pushing it into the ground, then you have to essentially lift it out of that deficit before you can move it. All right? But if you think about all these experiments in space, then it's just about moving a mass of velocity, and that's all there is. There's how much mass, how much velocity, and that's all there ever is. A force is momentum, and you're just transferring it to an object. Period. Oh, fuck. I just can't believe I have to go over and over this shit. Alright, let's see if there's any yeah, any chat worthy of notice. Let's see. Says the guy with 0 tests. Let's see. Let me just see. Oh, do we have a doctor? I'm sure it's not a real doctor. So, you know, more liars showing up to lie. Alright, the one mass object is twice the distance from the pivot, so the falling mass would feel the same force as the two mass closer to the pivot. Therefore, the one mass has more inertia. Again, it makes absolutely 0 sense. They weigh exactly the same. That's what we detect when we push on something, is the weight, the resistance, the pushback. Alright, there's no inertia. It's an active experiment. Gravity is applying the counter force. There's no inertial force. There's only gravity pushing on the object, and you're trying to push it up into the gravity. Oh, God damn it. Let's see. They have to lie because they don't know what else to do. Haha. Oh, that doesn't even make sense. Sorry. Yeah, because you never... Why do they need to lie? Why do they need to defend nonsense? Why are they attached to a religious kooky theory from the 1650s? Yeah, because you never act like that. I don't know what that means. The false description of how Steve acts is ironically what you actually do. You know, it's not even a meaningful way of describing whatever it is you're... when do I talk about how Steve acts? I talk about what Steve says. How he acts is probably even more revolting than what he says or types. Okay, but whatever. See, he's going to read ahead to make sure he deliberately misreads anything that debunks his nonsense. So there's absolutely no debunking, right? There's just nothing. There's not a single sentence anywhere that anybody can post here that is in any way meaningful or relevant. Go ahead, post it. Show me the great argument I am evading. Show me it. Put it somewhere on the internet and link me to it if it has to be more text than you can type. Show me the great counter argument that proves that 4 times the height creates 4 times the energy. Show me. Alright, wow. What an own. He died a nobody. I don't know what this means. Gary, seriously, do you ever listen to yourself sometimes? So this is just baby talk. What is this stuff supposed to mean to somebody? Alright, says the guy with exactly 0 tests. So again, I have done the test. And frankly, what? You don't have to prove what you claim? You've had 350 years to show us it taking 4 times more fuel to go twice as fast. In 350 years, you've produced nothing. Why should you have any right to ask anybody else for evidence? Alright, Gary, you literally described what inertia is in your last video where you imaged shooting a pea off the Empire State Building with a spring in space. Yeah, and I pointed out how there's no inertia. The Empire State Building absorbs the energy in the velocity it converts it to. It converts it to an insanely small velocity because it has to spread across all of its mass. So it has exactly the same momentum. It's revealed in a very big M and a very small v, where the other object has a very big V and a very small m. So how is inertia involved? One doesn't move easier than the other. They move equally. Okay, they just move at different speeds because you have to move more mass. Moving more mass requires more energy. How do you not understand that point? God, too stupid. Alright, it's resistance to change in speed. There is no resistance to change. It's like saying a homeless man resists being rich. No, he doesn't. Just give him the money. Now, you're poorer and he's richer, okay? It's that simple. So it's just a lie. There's any resistance. Nothing resists being moved. You have to give it energy. It doesn't move without you giving it energy. It can't be rich until you give it money. Too silly. All right. Except for the past part where you conceded. So again, more lies. So I'm going to just block you, okay? I mean, if you're going to lie, I'm just going to block you. That there is rotational inertia, so I never conceded that. Then blocked the commenters who pointed out that you conceded it. Okay, it's just a lie. So again, if you're going to lie, I'm not going to waste my time defending myself against vague lies. Fuck that. All right, that's just the lowbrow tactic. I've made overt accusations. You can't make a counter argument. You can't defend your lies. That's it, okay? I'm just not going to waste my time defending myself for just grotesque lies. Okay, imagine if you were holding a lever from the pivot, whatever that means. What, at the fulcrum? The one mass would weigh the same as the two mass. The one mass has to be twice the distance. So I don't even know what he's talking about, right? Because of that, the falling mass struggled to change the one mass speed. So again, how can you even make sense out of this mush? So again, they can't make a video. I've asked them for 2 years to draw a lever on a chalkboard. Mindless Marbles, draw a lever. Brozo, draw a lever. Ian Gosling, draw a lever. Just explain how it works. Explain how it doesn't convert momentums and that it does conserve kinetic energy. Explain how it works, you liars. Anyway. Alright, so that's just useless, James. Sorry. Yug. Difference. No, dummy. That's what I'm talking about. How you falsely describe him acting online and how you actually act online. So again, this is just absolute nonsense. I don't have to defend anything. All my videos are public. This is bullshit. Okay. Can you look at my last 2 comments on your last live video? I did, you fuckhead. Okay, yeah, I haven't gotten to them yet. I was going to get to them in a video. But I mean, the Einstein one is ridiculous. Clearly, Einstein was saying, yes, if we have a checkerboard and all the checkers can't move and none of the squares can change, then there's no internal energy. But if we move the whole checkerboard, okay, the checkers, the squares, everything, that somehow we could say there's no kinetic energy because all the checkers are moving, all the boards moving, everything's moving. But clearly, that moving checkerboard to another checkerboard would look like a moving object. So you can't say, I moved it and it has no energy. Saying it moved and then saying it doesn't have energy is just stupid. So obviously you're just taking Einstein a little bit too literally. All he was really talking about is if there's nothing moving in the universe doesn't have any kinetic energy internally. But if I do move the entire mass of the universe in a direction, it would be ludicrous of me to say, that moving universe has no energy. That would be stupid. So again, you're just, you're trying to pervert Einstein's meaning. He wasn't defending the idea that you can have movement without kinetic energy. That would be idiotic. Without energy. Fuck. And then your other comment was you haven't researched what momentum is. So have you researched it now and found out what fucking momentum is? I mean, I don't remember everything in your comment, but that wasn't the gist of it. I don't know enough about kinetic energy, so I can't comment. Some kind of crap like that, right? Wasn't that your comment? Shit. You didn't throw any new value into this conversation anywhere. You're not taking a side. Take a side. Explain to me why something dropping 4 times the height. I'm telling you as a guaranteed fact. So if you just give me the granted and you'll just accept it for the moment of this argument, that it's a proven fact that dropping it from 4 times the height only doubles the weight. It hits the scale and it only moves the scale twice as much. 4 times the height, only twice the deflection on the scale. So if that's an absolute truth, will you concede it would seems kind of preposterous to say it had 4 times the energy? Would you concede that saying 4 times the energy is a little bit like a UFO theory? That doesn't make much sense because we know springs work pretty goddamn good at collecting energy. Springs collect energy, they store energy, they release energy. Why would I think the spring is only showing me half the energy the object actually has? Why is the spring saying there's only half as much energy as the kinetic energy says there is? Can you explain that? Alright, so, yeah, where's the evidence for the twins? Oh, okay, so this is just Farley again under another fake name. So, why bother, right? Yes, why bother? I mean, it's amazing. You just create all these fake accounts. I mean, Google won't let me access half of the accounts I made, 5 years ago. I had, channels for each one of the subjects. I can't even access those channels. I can't look at them. I can't do anything because YouTube requires me to have multiple cell phone numbers. And I only have one cell phone number, let alone multiple ones. Alright, from all reference frames in the universe, nothing is moving and nothing has KE. Well, okay, look, Tim, we're done. Alright? These arguments about going 20 and 30 miles an hour has absolutely nothing to do with reference frames or any of that horse shit. So whatever the fuck bullshit you're pulling, it's useless and moronic. All right? This has nothing to do with Einstein's moronic bent space-time bullshit theories. Absolutely nothing to do with gamma crap, okay? So fuck you if you keep arguing this crap. If you're going to use Einstein as an excuse that, twice the energy, half the energy disappeared because of Einstein's theory. Bullshit it did, fucker. Oh, you people are such fucking pieces of shit. Oh, you just can't stay on this subject, right? You just can't get anywhere near the real fucking subject. Do you, Tim, have a single piece, a shred of fucking good reason to believe in 1/2 mv squared? Or are you just believing because you have faith? Have you ever researched? Have you thought about it? Have you done anything at all to have any kind of reasonable opinion about the subject? The obvious answer is no. God damn it. And you just keep making these fucking irrational citations to, somehow it's hidden in the bent space geodesic. Yeah, the energy is hidden in the bent space geodesic. What you were talking was not related to my second comment. Well, I told you, that's the vague reference of your second comment. Why do you think your comments are so fucking goddamn important, you fucking cunt? I mean, it's just amazing, the arrogance of this fuckhead. So yeah, I'll go to your fucking comment. We'll see your second comment. I didn't want to comment on how far to compress springs to get speeds because I couldn't remember the details about them. So you couldn't remember Hooke's law that basically proved that springs are perfectly linear. That twice the energy, twice the force, twice the weight, blah, 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 twice the compression. Yeah, that's the fucking law of springs, you fuckhead. Okay, and clearly kinetic energy is completely inconsistent with that result. 4 times the height, I drop an object from 4 times the height, it only compresses the spring twice as much. Clearly there can't be 4 times the energy, there's only twice the velocity. Your theory, the theory you're defending, is saying that when there's twice the velocity, there should be 4 times the compression of the spring. When I'm going twice as fast and I hit a spring, I should compress it 4 times as much. Only going twice as fast. That's the theory you're attempting here clearly to defend. All right, and he says, nobody doubts the reality of kinetic energy because otherwise one would have to deny the reality of energy per se. What a fucking lie. Okay, Newton, Descartes, Galileo all believed energy was momentum. I believe energy is momentum, mv. You don't need any 1/2 and you don't need any fucking squared. You're just such a fucking piece of shit liar to sit there and imply that somehow nobody knew what energy was without the kinetic energy theory. Yeah, they all knew what it was. 500 fucking years ago they were smarter than you fucking idiot. All right. Jesus, what a fuck. You didn't research any of this. Okay, but it's clear that the kinetic energy of a body depends on the state of motion of the coordinate system. This is just, again, more lies, okay? We already assigned it. It's going twice as fast. You're saying because it's going twice as fast, it has 4 times the energy. That's your overt statement. Well, where do you have a single shred of evidence indicating it has 4 times the energy? Where does it compress a spring 4 times as much? Where does it knock down 4 times as many trees? Where does it knock down 4 times as many pins? Where does it do 4 times the more anything ever anywhere? Where do you have a single shred of evidence? It makes 4 times more fire. It makes 4 times more heat. It makes 4 times more anything because it's going twice as fast. You don't have a single fucking piece of experimental evidence demonstrating it. And yet you'll arrogantly spout this crap? Fuck. Coordinate system with a suitable choice of ladder. Okay, I need some ladder, please. One obviously can cause the kinetic energy of a body in transitory movement, hyperboloid. What are you, a Ken Wheeler fan? Transitory movement to take on at a certain moment in the certain way over there kind of thing, and the gremlins come in and they fly their wings and the wings flap, and when the wings flap the butterfly falls down and then a hurricane knocks all the people's houses down. Fuck. Any given positive value, or say the value 0. I mean, this is just what an invasion of a simple subject. Well, your obligation is just to show me one shred of evidence of anything ever going twice as fast, meaning it causes 4 times the damage, or 4 times the impact, or 4 times the anything. That's your obligation. Show me one fucking piece of experimental evidence. All right, in the special case where the masses have velocities equal to the size of Brozo's micropenis, the direction is, well, obviously down, and suitable choice of the coordinate system can bring about the entire kinetic energy to 0, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's the Einstein quote. Sorry, I'm supposed to be doing this stupid one. Oh. Yeah. No, it can't. All right. Hooke's law states that the more you deform a spring, no, that's not what Hooke's law says. It says it's exactly proportional. The amount of compression will be exactly proportional to the amount of energy. The more force it will take to deform it further. So obviously, I mean, you wouldn't need Hooke's law to tell you it takes more compression to compress it more. Oh, duh. Oh, God. These people are so manipulative. No, it clearly states that it's clearly a proportionality. It's directly proportional. The spring shows you. That's why they put springs on scales. That's why there's little numbers on here, you fucking idiot. It's because it's perfectly linear. The little thing moves proportional to the amount of energy you push it with, the amount of force you apply. Fuck. Okay, using the example of a common compressed spring, the more you compress the spring, so it keeps saying it, the more force it will take to compress it further. Duh. I mean, duh. Does anybody need, those are what the numbers are saying. 50 pounds, 60 pounds, 70 pounds, 80 pounds. Yes, it takes more force to get to 70 pounds than it takes to get to 50 pounds. Duh. Oh, so I have to put more than 2x the force to compress the spring 2x. Okay, so that's what you have absolutely 0 evidence of. More than twice the force to compress the spring twice as much? No, that is not Hooke's law. That's a lie. Where did you add this in as if it's part of Hooke's law? It's not part of Hooke's law. That's just complete crap you made up, all right? No fucking value there whatsoever. Nothing in what Hooke observed or what he stated said anything like this, that it takes any more than twice the amount of force to move the spring twice the amount. He never said that. In other words, the spring compresses 2x is going to have more than 2x the energy to push on something. So that's not true. It's not what Hooke said. All right, this is why I think you should formulate an example of mv versus 1/2 mv squared, but skip the levers. Well, fuck you. They're the greatest example, the oldest and greatest. It's a perfect example. It completely destroys any notion of kinetic energy being true. and get out in space with the simple example of perfect transfer of energy collisions. Yeah, well, whatever. I've already made the space arguments over and over again. Obviously, NASA didn't put 1/2 mv squared in the computer that landed on the moon, landed the lunar module. It's not something they use. They clearly use momentum. They just calculate how much mass and how much velocity and call that thrust. So I've already made those arguments, so fuck you. Fuck you. I mean, what game are you playing here? This isn't, you're not saying anything. You're saying, yeah, Gary, you're right. Go ahead and make these arguments, but don't make those arguments. Is that what you're saying, fuckhead? Where you just denied I was right here? This sentence is a lie. So you have to put more than 2x the force to compress the spring 2x. That's a lie. All right. Yeah, so back to the chat. We'll see if you lied some more. All right. So, let's see. I have to go back to... All right. Here we go. I wish people took this more seriously. Sadly, there are people who don't want to understand reality. Yeah, it seems like that's the majority of people, right? It seems quite obvious that most people, most scientists, and that's the real disappointing part, they don't care about the truth. They just care about making money. You know, they'll just sell any kind of silly story, any little wavical bullshit story. You know, entanglement mush, all kinds of silly little fables. All right, weight equals energy equals power equals force, people. Well, you should say period, then people, or something, or ... people. There's no such thing as force people. Yeah, it's so sad. Barely anyone cares. They want, I don't know, relativity to be true because they want the universe to be subjective. They don't want to face reality. That's right. They don't want the fact that there is an objective truth, and most of the objective truths are quite negative. And if you're really going to inspect your own existence, you're going to find out, shit, I'm an asshole. And it's not fun. It's not fun realizing you suck because you're naturally built to be a selfish, weaselly piece of crap. Yeah. Okay. I mean, look, if a Tyrannosaurus has got intelligence before, you know, instead of us, they'd have a dismal fact to live with, right? That, oh man, for the whole history of our existence, we brutally harmed creatures. We did all this, you know, just terrible, terrible, terrible amounts of pain and suffering we imposed. I mean, it'd be hard to live down. I mean, it's a sad history. Hooke's law makes twice the energy, twice the force, twice the compression. Why don't people understand this? Yes, why don't they accept the simple truth? Weight is energy. Right now, you weigh something sitting on the earth. Why do you weigh something? You weigh something because gravity is, in fact, giving you velocity into the earth. And the earth is pushing you back constantly. Every trillionth second, some piece of you is getting pushed back up while another piece of you is getting pushed down. You're constantly in motion, moving into the earth, and the earth is constantly pushing you back up again. And that's why you have weight, is because you actually do have a velocity into the earth. It's just that you never get to keep it. The earth spits you back, and you have to do it again and again and again and again and again, over and over and over again. But that's energy. Energy is momentum. Mass moving a velocity. That's energy. Alright, American Boys is such a serious username. Whatever. They want physics to be subjective, then there is... They want physics to be subjective when there is one truth. There's perfect accuracy in description, you could say, right? Now, we'll never achieve perfect accuracy in description, but the truth is that's what you're attempting to do, is accurately describe the reality. And accurate descriptions can't be in conflict with each other. They could be different, but they can't be in conflict. Okay. You are 100% correct that exactly their motivation. You figure it out. Yeah, they want free will. They want the truth to be a fable. It's just sad and pathetic that, you know, I have to concede. I mean, I was disappointed as a youth to find out, oh, fuck, we evolved, and it's this horrible story. Like, it's not a Candyland story. It's like a really kind of nasty story. And I was very disappointed when I found out nature was cruel and ugly. Because I wanted to feel comfortable with nature. Nature made me feel comfortable. I liked it. I liked the trees. I liked the wind. I liked it. And I had to accept a sad and horrible truth about it. I had to see the blood all over it. And that was disappointing. But I wanted the truth. I didn't want to live a lie. Alright. You can't disprove KE without viewing it through the lens. I mean, I can disprove it by merely stating you have absolutely zero evidence supporting your wacky delusion. Okay, I can disprove Jesus by just saying, where's your evidence that he walked on water? Where's your evidence that he ever cured anybody of anything? Where's your evidence that he was ever any kind of God? Where's your evidence that it was an immaculate conception? That's right, you have no evidence. So I can disprove it by pointing out it's just made up storytelling. You have no factual evidence, no relevant evidence. Alright, through the lens of absolute space and say KE doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. You don't have to look at it through absolute space. I mean, even Einstein's space, it doesn't make any sense. Einstein would still have a hard time explaining to you why 4 times the distance doesn't equal 4 times the weight. Look, if I told Einstein, look, you know, I drop it 4 times from the 4 times the height, it only weighs twice as much. He's still going to have the same problem you're going to have. Oh yeah, twice the weight, twice the velocity, twice the time. Why do I think it's 4 times anything? That's silly. Nobody challenged Einstein to answer the question. Einstein believed in waves because he couldn't think of photons as really being particles in a pattern. He just couldn't make that connection. And so he didn't fix his own theory. He knew it was wrong. He knew waves was bullshit. He just didn't know how to replace it. Anyway, I do. Alright, absolute space and say KE doesn't make any sense. Of course I can. You have to view KE through space-time. Okay, alright, I've given you every opportunity to defend that nonsense. There's absolutely no reason, nobody even, Professor Lewin, no physicist ever applies gamma functions to things moving 10 miles an hour. So you either stick to the real world where Einstein's fucking goddamn space-time has absolutely nothing to do with objects moving 10 miles an hour. So quit pretending there's length contraction or some other bullshit that's hiding the energy. Alright, oh, you're just such a liar. Do it one more time, you're done here. I mean, this is such a fucking cop-out. Will you stick to the fucking subject? God damn it. To sit there and say space-time makes it go more energy thingy. I mean, you're not making an argument. Get out in space. Alright, fuck you. It's too bad. You're just too big a fucking asshole. I'm arguing get out in space and you'll find out thrust. Okay? Bullets don't turn spaceships more than gun recoils. Okay, a fucking NASA scientist, if you ask him the question, he'll tell you, yeah, it doesn't make any difference. I shoot the bullet out at 1,000 miles an hour. I shoot the gun out at 1 mile an hour. Okay, it's the same thrust. It's the same turning energy. My space shuttle will turn the fucking goddamn same because it's the same thing. 1,000 atoms going 1 mile an hour is the same thing as 1 atom going 1,000 miles an hour. Fuck you. I mean, they can't produce a single fucking piece of evidence. Nothing. And they just keep defending this crap. I mean, it's just amazing. They have no evidence, no physical evidence. In 350 years, they can't produce one fucking even old real video, even like an Einstein movie clip. You know, one of those things you crank by hand. Not a single clip of it ever taking 4 times more fuel to go twice as fast. In all this time, not one fucking stinking piece of evidence. And yet you people just persistently defend it. Defend it, defend it, defend it. Not a shred of evidence, just defend it. It's pitiful. Shit. Yeah, I really just, I don't want to go back to the comments section. Spare myself. Alright, well, I'll go back and see, maybe. Maybe I'll go back. I don't know. Let's see, where was it? Put it somewhere. Let's see, momentum and inertia. That can't be it. No, that's the stupid video. Draft science. That's laughably wrong. I guess that's it. Oh, God. These people, such assholes. So 12 replies to that. I think that's all there was the other day. So this is all old shit, maybe. Let's see if there's anything new at the bottom. Nope. So they really can't, you know. I am thinking a proper experiment saves me from all this you do. Yes. Somebody did, yes. I mean, I've advocated right from the beginning that this is something science should have sewed up a long time ago. They should have done decent experiments and proved these points, and they never did any decent, well-done experiments regarding energy. Nothing. So that's why this is all left a mess. But all their experiments are lies and bullshit. I mean, all these entanglement experiments, I'm going through those now. And they're just so obviously inaccurately described. I mean, they don't describe any of these entanglement experiments as they are. They just make up stories. All right, so I guess we'll go another 15 minutes maybe. We'll see if there's nobody else commenting. Then we'll just move along. But it's sad that you can't get a single. I mean, I'll probably make some of at least the stuff I sent to Minute Physics. So Minute Physics actually did respond to me, and basically say I misunderstand. And then I explained why. No, I don't misunderstand. Okay, these are the facts and these are the assertions I'm making. I'm just asking you, how much do I have to pay you to defend your theory? And I got no reply. I mean, I already offered him $3,000, right? I'm basically saying, how much more? 3, 4, 5. What's the number? What's the magic number I have to go up to? Because I'll raise the money. That's what I'm basically saying. Look, how much does it take? Because I'll try to raise the money. You give me your price tag to sit there on your channel and explain why you think something dropped from 4 times the height hits the ground with 4 times the energy. Just go ahead and explain it. When it only weighs twice as much. So somehow it only weighs twice as much, but it hits the ground with 4 times the energy. It only weighs twice as much when it hits the ground, but it somehow does 4 times the energy, 4 times the damage, 4 times the work. It only weighs twice as much. See, it's like the 100-pound football player hitting you at 10 miles an hour versus the 200-pound football player hitting you at 5 miles an hour. They say, their theory says, the 100-pound player hitting you at 10 miles an hour is twice the impact. So much, twice as much football player hitting you. So even though momentum says now it's the same weight, they're going to hit you with the same amount of force, they say the light guy running faster has more energy. It's twice as much the energy. It's going to disrupt the quarterback twice as much. Twice as much. You know, not this much more. Twice as much more. I mean, they're ludicrous statements. They're absolutely preposterously silly. And if I made the guy even smaller, like an even smaller midget, if I made him 50 pounds, so let's compare a 50-pound guy against a 200-pound guy, right? And the 50-pound guy is going to go 4 times faster. And they really think that that 50-pound guy has 4 times the power to hurt the quarterback. Amazing. Amazing bullshit. That, you know, you would rather have 3 200-pound guys hit you at 5 miles an hour than one, okay, 50-pound guy hit you at 20 miles an hour. That's their argument. That makes sense to them. Let's see how many crappy viewers we have. Sorry, crappy viewers, but you usually are crappy. I mean, it's just a fact that the viewers are usually pretty crappy. 15. Well, it says 18 concurrent viewers. Yeah, so I don't know why it has 2 numbers, though. It has 15 in one window and 18 in the other. I don't know. What does that mean? 50, why is there 15 over here? There's 18 over here. What's the difference? It's just so fucking stupid. YouTube. It's funny. But they don't tell you how long the video is, right? So they don't tell you the running time of the video, but they tell you all this other crap. Useless crap. Anyway. It's funny. I mean, it's like nobody at YouTube ever streams a video or does any of this stuff because they, you know, it clearly lacks features that just seem so obviously useful, and there aren't any. Like a pause button, for example. You know, you just pause, you would just turn the stream off and just have a pause on the screen. You know, it's a sensible feature. You know, I'll be back in a minute. Just have a I'll be back in a minute screen. Just pop on just in case, you know, I have to, whatever. And, you know, to not have that is just so stupid. Yeah, I know it's one. I can see from the other thing how long it's been. But whatever. It's okay. Thank you. Sounds like a fair deal to me. It's clear many physicists want to keep their reputation. That's right. That's all it's about. Making their money. Keeping the fools thinking they're impressive and they're really smart and they know what they're talking about when they haven't researched anything. They don't know any of this crap. None of these physicists know how bad the Leibniz story is. They don't have any of these facts. I didn't know until I researched it. I didn't have any realization that all of this was based on a religious kook who believed in solitons and monads, and he started this nonsense. Whatever a soliton and a monad. Can you just imagine what a soul? He believed it was a soul. He believed inanimate objects had little souls trapped in them. For fuck's sake, this is the guy who invented this crap. I don't know what the Stefan Bozeman. I'm sort of Boltzmann. I would argue that clearly temperature is energy. There's no argument. Anytime you see heat somewhere, it used to be something else, okay? It used to be a real force. It used to be a real momentum, and now it's heat. Okay? Heat is just what momentum dies as. So as momentum moves from thing to thing, as it starts to die or diminish, it dies and diminishes as heat. Heat is just little tiny things moving. So you don't see the little tiny things moving, but that's all you did is you transferred your motion as a bowling ball to the pins. So let's say the pins were little tiny things and they were invisible. You could get the same idea that the bowling ball is just knocking down invisible pins. It's just going to transfer its energy to the pins. That's it. So heat is always the byproduct of work. It's always the byproduct of an interaction between forces and matter. And matter that has force hitting another piece of matter. Okay. The Eddington experiment has been done with in space. No, it hasn't. It's not the Eddington experiment, you liar. Okay, with more than 20% accuracy. It's a lie. Okay, by the Hippocampus satellite. So whatever. It's a lie. It's not the Eddington experiment. It's a lie. So I'll take down that word, but it's clearly not an image of a star through any distance, any gravitational body. And I don't even know what 20% accuracy means. What the fuck does that mean? 20% would be bad. 100% accuracy would mean something. 20% accuracy? What the fuck are you talking about? So it's just a lie. I mean, it's a lie to say it's the same. Okay, the experiment's done with an optical camera. You take a picture of a star. Okay, all this other bullshit is just that, bullshit. It's a simple 400 times better resolution. You just need a regular camera, a GoPro in space, and you can do the experiment better than Eddington did it with a GoPro camera. Alright, something like the energy is equal to the temperature to the 4th power. Yeah, well, he's just using the, look, all of these other people use this bad formula. Look, the weight of the electron has been established by using 1/2 mv squared. So obviously they don't even know the weight of an electron correctly because they used the kinetic energy formula to decide the weight. So they're not even measuring the correct weight. You can't make temperature into kinetic energy, okay? You're never going to make anything into anything other than momentum. Temperature, you could say, is the same thing as mass moving, okay? So you could say the temperature of a thrust. Instead of calling it the pressure of the thrust, you could measure the temperature of the thrust. You can't change the fact that it always has to relate to mass moving. That's all there is masses moving. Temperature is moving masses. That's all it is. It's nothing more. Banging something into a brick wall, let's say, at twice the velocity will not create 4 times the temperature. So anything that creates heat, I'm saying if you do the experiment and you just double the speed, the momentum of the thing going in, you will not create 4 times the heat, ever. It's not going to happen. There's no such law defended by anything called an experiment. There's no free energy. I mean, and frankly, there's no other way to reconcile 1/2 mv squared. It's clearly a free energy formula because every single time you convert energy from a small object going fast to a heavy object going slow, you lose tremendous amounts of energy, kinetic energy, and every time you do the opposite, you go from a big object going slow to a small object going fast, you make free energy. That's the implications of 1/2 mv squared. It's a free energy formula. It was called that back in 1673. Okay, a bunch of scientists stood up and said that can't be right because it creates perpetual motion and free energy. They made the argument 400 years ago that you're ignoring now. too bad they don't have a little time warp button, you know, where I could press a button and somehow the video will speed up automatically on replay because there's all dead parts here. But it just give me a chance to vape, which is nice. I get to get some nicotine in my head. My brain appreciates it. But yes, it's a little bit of a time waster. So yes, if you're watching this video, speed it up. Okay, go to the little settings button and you can change the speed of the video, and then yeah, you'll save yourself a whole bunch of time because you really won't miss anything. You know, because no one's saying anything except me. And I've already said all I need to say. So there's only 12 viewers now, so yeah, it's just not enough viewers to stimulate conversation, so we'll just concede to the inability to generate enough of an audience to really justify these rooms, but whatever. I will use this facility where it's not inconvenient, but like I said, it's a little more wasteful than a regular video, is I allow the trolls to have their chance to trigger me, and that's kind of a waste of time. Yes, I know the truth will win. It's just that it looks like it's going to take, you know, a lot of millenniums more than I thought it would. I thought the human race would have advanced so much further than it has. And it's just very disappointing. So, likewise, well-wishing and such. Thank you to the people who do support this channel and whatnot. And till the next time, when I'll probably just do the same fucking shit all over again. There's nothing I can do, right? If they had a great argument, I could put their great argument on the board, and I could sit there and, whoa, it's so challenging, the great argument. But they don't have a great argument. So all I'm arguing really with is their obstinance in the fact that they won't deal with my great arguments. My great argument is I drop it from 4 times the height. It only goes twice as fast and twice the amount of time. It only weighs twice as much. So why the fuck, as a rational person, would I think it has 4 times the energy? If somebody told me something's going twice as fast and it's, you know, it takes twice the time to gain that velocity, and it only weighs twice as much when it hits something, why would I think it has 4 times the energy? I mean, what good reasoning could I apply to say, oh, that's obviously 4 times the energy? Solitons? Monads? Yeah, it's the monad power. Fuck. It's just, you just, no, people can't be this dumb. No, it can't be true. They can't be this belligerently stupid. But sadly, it is true. That's the world I live in, so I'm stuck breathing the shit. I have to endure the noise and the stink, because I live on a cesspool planet of idiocracy. Fuck. So depressing. Blech. Yeah. But I'll endeavor to persevere, because that's what I do. Yeah. Poster child for endeavoring to persevere and such. So, till the next time. Blah, 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 blah.